Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it. Trying to wake up this morning. So, we're going to be doing Zechariah 6, verse 1 through chapter 7, verse 14. As soon as I get some more coffee. Okay. Zechariah 6, verse 1. Once more I looked, and this time I saw 4 chariots emerging from between 2 mountains of bronze. Harnessed to the first chariot were red horses, to the second black horses, to the third white horses, and to the fourth spotted horses, all of them strong. Then I asked the angelic messenger who was speaking with me, "What are these, sir?" The messenger replied, "These are the 4 spirits of heaven that have been presenting themselves before the Lord of all the earth. The chariot with the black horses is going to the north country, and the white ones are going after them, but the spotted ones are going to the south country. All these strong ones are scattering. They have sought permission to go and walk about over the earth. The Lord had said, 'Go, walk about over the earth,' so they are doing so." Then he cried out to me, "Look, the ones going to the northland have brought me peace about the northland." The word of the Lord came to me as follows: "Choose some people from among the exiles, namely Heldai, Tobijah, and Jediah, all of whom have come from Babylon, and when you have done so, go to the house of Josiah, son of Zephaniah. Then take some silver and gold to make a crown, and set it on the head of Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest. Then say to him, 'The Lord who rules over all says, Look, here is a man whose name is Branch, who will sprout up from his place and build the temple of the Lord. Indeed, he will build the temple of the Lord, and he will be clothed in splendor, sitting as king on his throne. Moreover, there will be a priest with him on his throne, and they will see eye to eye on everything. The crown will then be turned over to Helam, Tobijah, Jediah, and Hen, son of Zephaniah, as a memorial in the temple of the Lord. Then those who are far away will come and build the temple of the Lord, so that you may know that the Lord who rules over all has sent me to you. This will all come to pass if you completely obey the voice of the Lord your God." In King Darius' 4th year, on the 4th day of Kislev, the 9th month, the word of the Lord came to Zechariah. Now the people of Bethel had sent Sharezer and Regem-melech and their companions to seek the Lord's favor, by asking both the priests of the temple of the Lord, who rules over all, and the prophets, "Should we weep in the 5th month, fasting as we have done over the years?" The word of the Lord who rules over all then came to me: "Speak to all the people and priests of the land as follows: When you fasted and lamented in the 5th and 7th months, through all these 70 years, did you truly fast for me? For me indeed. And now when you eat and drink, are you not doing so for yourselves? Should you not have obeyed the words that the Lord cried out through the former prophets when Jerusalem was peacefully inhabited, and her surrounding cities, the Negev and the Shephelah, were also populated?" Again the word of the Lord came to Zechariah. The Lord who rules over all said, "Exercise true judgment and show brotherhood and compassion to each other. You must not oppress the widow, the orphan, the foreigner, or the poor, nor should anyone secretly plot evil against his fellow human being." But they refused to pay attention, turning away stubbornly, and stopping their ears so they could not hear. Indeed, they made their heart as hard as diamond, so that they could not obey the Torah and the other words the Lord who rules over all had sent by his Spirit through the former prophets. Therefore the Lord who rules over all had poured out great wrath. It then came about that just as I cried out, but they would not obey, so they will cry out, but I will not listen. The Lord who rules over all, has said, "Rather, I will sweep them away in a storm into all the nations they are not familiar with." Thus the land had become desolate because of them, with no one crossing through or returning, for they had made the fruitful land a waste. What immediately stands out to me is in verse 5, of chapter 7, when you fasted and lamented in the 5th and 7th months, through all these 70 years, did you truly fast for me? In the pattern of previous religious observance that didn't really mean anything. It was just like a public show. I guess the fasting too also didn't mean anything in these people's hearts, which sucks. Yeah, just because something looks good, something looks like self-denial, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a path to godliness or righteousness. And in this case, God was pointing out that indeed their hearts weren't right before God. So I think it's important to have a heart that's right before God. Okay, let's carry on. With Revelation chapter 15, verse 1 through 8. Then I saw another great and astounding sign in heaven, 7 angels who have 7 final plagues. They are final because in them God's anger is completed. Then I saw something like a sea of glass mixed with fire. And those who had conquered the beast in his image and the number of his name, they were standing by the sea of glass, holding harps given to them by God. They sang the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb. Great and astounding are your deeds, Lord God, the all-powerful. Just and true are your ways, King over the nations. Who will not fear you, O Lord, and glorify your name, because you alone are holy? All nations will come and worship before you, for your righteous acts have been revealed. After these things I looked, and the temple, the tent of the testimony, was opened in heaven. And the 7 angels who had the 7 plagues came out of the temple, dressed in clean, bright linen, wearing wide golden belts around their chests. Then one of the 4 living creatures gave the 7 angels 7 golden bowls, filled with the wrath of God, who lives forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from God's glory and from his power. Thus no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues from the 7 angels were completed. I guess I'm reminded of Hebrews when it talks about the temple that was made here on earth with human hands was a shadow of the temple in heaven. And so you have these the temple in heaven being talked about here. Okay. Psalm 143, verses 1 through 12. O Lord, hear my prayer. Pay attention to my plea for help. Because of your faithfulness and justice, answer me. Do not sit in judgment on your servant, for no one alive is innocent before you. Certainly my enemies chase me. They smash me into the ground. They force me to live in dark regions like those who have been dead for ages. My strength leaves me. I am absolutely shocked. I recall the old days. I meditate on all you have done. I reflect on your accomplishments. I spread my hands out to you in prayer. Oh dear. My soul thirsts for you in a parched land. Answer me quickly, Lord. My strength is fading. Do not reject me, or I will join those descending into the grave. May I hear about your loyal love in the morning, for I trust in you. Show me the way I should go, because I long for you. Rescue me from my enemies, O Lord. I run to you for protection. Teach me to do what pleases you, for you are my God. May your kind presence lead me into a level land. O Lord, For the sake of your reputation, revive me. Because of your justice, rescue me from trouble. As a demonstration of your loyal love, destroy my enemies. Annihilate all who threaten my life, for I am your servant. Psalm 143:2. Do not sit in judgment on your servant, for no one alive is innocent before you. It reminds me of that Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So, even without New Testament passages, it's still echoing the same things in the Old Testament. Okay, Proverbs chapter 30, verses 24 through 28. There are 4 things on earth that are small, but they are exceedingly wise. Ants are creatures with little strength, but they prepare their food in the summer. Rock badgers are creatures with little power, but they make their homes in the crags. Locusts have no king, but they all go forward by ranks. A lizard you can catch with the hand, but it gets into the palaces of the kings. Yeah, ants are often, well, more than once pointed to as an example for conduct in Proverbs, being good workers who know when it's time to work and to store up food for themselves. Locusts compared to an army in several different places. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. Definitely appreciate it. See you later.